Hello students, I Amol Sharma welcome you all once again in DSCJ Home Classes, a digital initiative by Directorate of School Education Jammu. Students, today we are going to study one of the important topic of English grammar, that is conditionals. This video is for class 8th to 10th, but students of higher classes can also have an advantage of this video. So students, first of all, let us discuss what conditionals are. So students, conditionals sentences are sentences that express one thing contingent on something else. Means if one of the condition get fulfilled, then you will get the other thing. Now, for example, usually our parents ask us that if you get the good marks in exam, you will get a motorcycle or you will get an mobile or anything else. Mean one condition is there that if you get the good marks, mean if one condition get fulfilled, then you will get the mobile or you will get the motorcycle. So these things, you can say that express one thing contingent on something else. Similarly, if it rains, the picnic will be cancelled. Mean the picnic depend upon the season. That if there is the rain, there will be no picnic. So it should be dry season so that we can go for the picnic. So these conditions are also so called because the impact of the main clause of the sentence is conditional on the dependent clause. Main clause is the clause having complete sense, whereas the dependent clause, it is a group of words who does not, which does not have its own sense. Its sense complete depends on other sentence. So since it has incomplete sense of its own, so it is called as the dependent clause. So the meaning, or you can say that sense of the dependent clause depends upon the main clause. Sometimes we call them if clauses. They describe the result of something that might happen in present or in future, or might have happened but didn't so. They made using different English verb tenses. Now let us study the various kinds of conditionals. So students, we do have four kinds of conditional. The very first is the zero conditional. The main structure of this zero conditional is that in if clause, that is dependent clause, have if plus present simple, whereas the other part of the sentence, that is the main clause, have only simple present, that is the first form of verb. The first conditional, again, in the dependent clause, that is in if clause, there is if plus simple present, that is the first form of verb, and the other part of the sentence, that is the main clause, have will plus infinitive, that is the first form of verb. In second conditional, there is if plus simple past, that is second form of verb in the dependent clause, in the if clause, whereas the main clause have would plus infinitive, that is the first form of verb. And the third conditional, it has if plus present perfect, that is had plus third form of verb in the dependent clause, in the if clause, whereas the main clause have, that is the other part of the sentence, it have would plus have plus past participle, that is third form of verb. So these are the structures of the different types kinds of conditionals: zero conditional, first conditional, second conditional, and third conditional. So let us first study zero conditional. The structure of zero conditional sentence. So students, the zero conditional is a structure used for talking about general truths. That is, things which always happen under certain conditions. A zero conditional sentence consists of two clauses: an if clause, that is dependent clause, and a main clause. In most of zero conditional sentences, you can use when or if, and the meaning will stay the same. Now we do have some examples here. The sentence is given, it is divided into two parts, that is if clause and main clause. Now first, if you heat water to 100 degrees, comma is there, it boils. So if clause part consists of if you heat water to 100 degrees Celsius. Now it is the dependent clause. It does not have its own sense. Now the main clause part is it boils. So if the if clause comes first, a comma is usually used. If the if clause comes second, there is no need for a comma. In second table, you can see that. So in first table, if you heat water to 100 degrees Celsius, it boils. Here if clause comes first, so there is comma after the if clause. But in second column, you can see that water boils if you heat it to 100 degrees Celsius. So in second paragraph, there if clause is at the end. So there is no need of comma after the main clause or after the first part of the sentence. Water boils if you heat it to 100 degrees Celsius. So we use the same verb form in each part of a zero conditional. That is the simple present tense. That is the first form. In if clause, there is if plus subject plus simple present verb. And in main clause, there is subject plus simple present verb. So in both the parts of the zero conditional, the same verb is used in both the parts. Now let us see the using how the zero conditional is being used. The zero conditional is used to talk about things which are always true, such as scientific facts and general truths. So they are always true. Now, for example, if you cross an international date line, the time changes. So explanation is given along with that it always happens. And we know that every time you cross a date line, every time you cross an international date line, the time zone automatically changes. Another example, if it rains, the grass gets wet. So again, this is basically always true that the rain makes the grass wet. Another example, wood doesn't burn if there is no air. So it is a scientific fact that for combustion, oxygen is needed, that air is needed. So if there is no air, no fire will be there. So in this example, you can see that if in the dependent clause there is a if and simple present, and other part also contain the simple present. So this is the zero conditional, and it is used to talk about the things which are always true. Now let us look at some other examples. Suppose you are given a sentence or words, you need to form a correct sentence using the if clause. So first example is you oblique not oblique eat oblique you oblique die. So there are different correct answers. First is if you don't eat, you die. Again, in this sentence, you can see that if clause is used first. So there is a comma after the if clause, and then there is the main clause. So if you don't eat, you die. You die if you don't eat. So your main clause is used first, and if clause is used second at the second place. So there is no need of comma. You can also write it like if you do not eat, you die, or simply you die if you do not eat. So again, it all depend upon whether you use the if clause at the first place or at the second place. And in both the parts, there is the simple present form. Second example, my daughter eat too much chocolate, oblique she, oblique get, oblique sick. So correct answers are if my daughter eats too much chocolate, she gets sick. So eats, gets. In both these parts, there is the simple present, first form of verb. If she eats too much chocolate, my daughter gets sick. My daughter gets sick if she eats too much chocolate. Let's look at third example. If oblique no oblique rain oblique the grass oblique not oblique grow. So you need to frame a sentence using the if clause. If there is no rain, the grass doesn't grow, or the grass doesn't grow if there is no rain. So in all these sentences, we use simple present with the if, and that comma depend upon the use of if clause. If it is firstly used, then you need to use the comma after the if clause, then you will write the main clause. Now let's move to the next kind, that is the first conditional. So students, we use the first conditional when we talk about future situations that we believe are real or possible. It is used to talk about things which might happen in the future. Of course, we cannot know what will happen in the future, but this describes possible things which could easily come true. So, first conditional is used to talk about the future situation which we think can be possible. They might happen in future. So, in first conditional sentence, the structure is usually if or when, because they both have the same meaning. If or when plus simple present, that is the first form of verb. This part is the if clause, dependent clause, and in second part, that is in main clause, we need to use will plus infinitive, that is the first form of verb. So for example, if I study today, I will go to the party tonight. So in first part of sentence, we use if plus simple present, that is the first form of verb. And in the main clause, we have will plus infinitive, that is the first form of verb. So if we use first form of verb along with if, then we need to use will plus first form of verb in the main clause. If I have enough money, I will buy some new shoes. She will be late if the train is delayed. She'll miss the bus if she doesn't leave soon. If I see her, I'll tell her. So in all these examples, you can see that there is the first form simple present along with if, and in main clause there is will plus first form of verb. Now let's see some exercise for practice on the basis of first conditional. Now if I dash go is there out tonight, I dash to the cinema. So if since these are the exercises are the first conditional, so we will use first form of verb in the if clause, and in second part, that is in main clause, there will be the will plus first form of verb. So if I go out tonight, I will go to the cinema. In second example, if you dash back late, I dash be angry. So again, if you use the first form of verb in this if clause, then in main clause there will be will plus first form. If you get back late, I will be angry. If we dash not see each other tomorrow, we dash see each other next week. Again, that depends upon if we use a first form of verb in the if clause, then we need to use will plus first form of verb in the main clause. So if we do not see each other tomorrow, we will see each other next week. Similarly, if he dash come, I dash be surprised. If he comes, I'll be surprised. And last, if we dash go on holiday this summer, we dash go to Spain. So again, if we go on holiday this summer, we will go to Spain. So I think from these examples, it is clear to you that how first conditional takes place. Yeah, what is the use of first conditional, how it can be used. So let us compare the first conditional with zero conditional. Now, students, the first conditional describes a particular situation, whereas the zero conditional describes what happens in general. Now, for example, in zero conditional part, if you sit in the sun, you get burnt. Here I am talking about every time a person sits in the sun, the burning is a natural consequences of the sitting. No doubt, whenever a person goes in sun, there are the chances that it is natural that he will get the burn. But first conditional, if you sit in the sun, you will get burnt. So here I am talking about what will happen today. Another day might be different. There may be the cloudy or you may not get a sunburn. But in first conditional, you can describe a particular situation, a particular day or particular time. But zero conditional, whatever it happens in general, it is the truth. So it is a comparison between the first and zero conditional. Now let us move toward the second part, that is the second conditional. Now students, the second conditional uses the past simple after if. That is, we use second form of verb with if, and then would plus first form of verb, that is the infinitive, will be used. So if plus past simple, that is second form of verb, in the dependent clause, and in main clause there will be would plus first form of verb. We can use were instead of was with I and he, she, it, etc. This is mostly done in formal writing. Now it has two uses. First, we can use it to talk about things in future that are probably not going to be true. Maybe I am imagining some dream. For example, if I won the lottery, I would buy a big house. So I probably not going to win the lottery. It is just my imagination, just my dream. Now here in this independent clause, that is an if clause, I use the second form of verb, that is the won, along with if. So in main clause there will be would plus infinitive, would plus buy, that is the first form of verb. Similarly, if I met the Queen of England, I would say hello. So I have used second form of verb along with the if. So here we are just imagining that it could happen, but it is not going to be happen. It is just a probability. So if I won the lottery, I would buy a big house. So if won, so I use the simple past with if. So in second part there would be the would plus first form. If I met the Queen of England, I would say hello. Again, if and second form, that is simple past, and in main clause there is would plus infinitive. She would travel all over the world if she were rich. She would pass the exam if she ever studied. So in all these sentences, you can see that there is second form of verb with if, then there will be would plus first form of verb in the main clause. So let us proceed toward the next part. Second, we can use it to talk about something in the present, which is impossible because it is not true. Let's look at the examples. If I had his number, I would call him. Mean at present, I do not have his number. So it is impossible for me to call him. So if plus sec had, if with the simple past, would plus first form of verb. If I were you, I wouldn't go out with that man. So again, simple past in the if clause and would plus first form in the main clause. Let's see some exercises for practice. If I dash be you, I dash get a new job. If I were you, I would get a new job. So here I use the simple past. Therefore, it is mandatory to use would plus first form of verb in the main clause. If we dash be friends, I dash be agree with you. If we want friends, we would be agree with you. If I had enough money, I dash buy a big house. I would buy a big house. If she dash not be always so late, she dash be promoted. So if she wasn't always so late, she would be promoted. So from this you can conclude that if we use simple past, that is second form of verb with if clause, then in main clause there will be would plus first form of verb. Now let's see the comparison between the first and second conditional. The first conditional describes things that I think are likely to happen in the future, whereas the second conditional talks about things that I don't think will really happen. That is just my imagination. Now, for example, first conditional, if she studies harder, she will pass the exam. So I think it is possible that she will study harder so that she will pass. In order to pass, she will definitely try to study hard. But in second conditional, if she studied harder, she would pass the exam. I think she wouldn't study harder, or it is very unlikely. So she is not going to pass, she won't be passed. So in second conditional, we talk about the things that I don't think that is really going to happen. Let's consider another example. So on the basis of second conditional, if I had enough money, I would buy a house with 20 bedrooms and a swimming pool. Now, I am probably not going to have this much money. It is just a dream and not very real. But for first conditional, if I have enough money, I will buy some new shoes. It is much more likely that I will have enough money to buy some shoes. So the first conditional describes the things that are likely to happen, that may happen in the future. But second conditionals, they are usually impossible or not going to really happen. Then the third conditional. We make the third conditional by using the past perfect after if, and then would have and the past participle in the second part of the sentence. Means in dependent clause or in if clause, there is if plus past perfect, that is had plus third form of verb. And in main clause, there will be would plus have plus third form of verb. So it talks about the past. It is used to describe a situation that didn't happen and just to imagine the result of this situation that had not happened something. We are just imagining that if that had happened, then what would be the result? Now, for example, if she had studied, she would have passed the exam. Mean at present we know that she didn't study, so she didn't pass. So we are just imagining the situation that if she had studied, so then she would have passed the exam. So there is had plus third form with if. Therefore, in main clause there is would plus have plus past participle. If I hadn't eaten so much, I wouldn't have felt sick. Again, had plus third form, would plus have plus third form. She wouldn't have been tired if she had gone to bed earlier. She would have become a teacher if she had gone to university. Again, in main clause, if there is would plus have plus third form, then in if clause, there will be the past perfect, that is had plus third form of verb. Now, let us see some exercises for practice. If you dash not be late, we dash not miss the train. So if you hadn't been late, I wouldn't have missed the train. So in the first sentence, we have had plus past perfect, had been, and in second part, that is in main clause, we have would plus have plus third form. If she had studied, she would have passed the exam. If we dash arrive earlier, we dash see John. If we had arrived earlier, we would have seen John. So had plus third form, therefore would plus have plus third form. If they had gone to bed early, they wouldn't have woken up late. If he had become a musician, he would have recorded a CD. So students, I think all the four conditionals are clear to you. So I think you might have seen these rules or their structures, that how they go on. So students, you should practice and revise it at home, because practice makes a man perfect. So soon we will meet with another topic of grammar. Till then, thank you. Have a nice day. Stay home. Stay safe.